You guys will meet and hang out with Greta's followers who are part of the movement Fridays for Future. That's so cool.
I can probably tell you that most American kids their age are not worried about it.
This is where they experienced all their struggles. I can't wait to tell my mom about everything I saw today.
You don't want anybody to go home. You want everyone to continue on together.
So far, we've seen so much beautiful countryside in the south, further north, and now we're in Stockholm. We're in a big city, which feels like a little bit of home to me because I'm a city girl, and I can't wait to explore the city and see what we can learn.
All right, I think I'm gonna open this
Yeah,
one.
do it.
Okay.
Bring it on.
All right, let's see. Ooh, look, we got markers and paints.
Oh.
Yay!
Boy.
You guys, all right.
Let's check it out.
Let's read it.
I try not to expect anything because this whole adventure's mind-blowing. I'm just enjoying every minute of it I can. I'm excited to spend several days in Stockholm, and I'm down for whatever.
Dear Americans, welcome to our capital, Stockholm. This is the city where a young 15-year-old girl got sick and tired of the grown-ups in the world and how they didn't do enough about the obvious climate changes going on all around the globe. Her name is Greta Thunberg, and she's the Swede who, by far, made the most impact in the world during 2019. She looks powerful.
She does look tough, don't she?
You guys will meet and hang out with Greta's followers, dedicated youngsters who are part of the movement Fridays for Future. That's so
incredible.
cool. Yeah. The coffer contains tickets to Herva Veckan, a major event for politicians and lobbyists. Here you can meet some young people who believe they can change the world. This is so cool.
I just get so pumped up about activist stuff, so the fact that we get to be involved in that is just icing on the cake. It's awesome.
Brochure from Riddarhuset. Christina, you have noble ancestry. You must make a visit. Robert, your ancestor, Peter Gunnarsson Rambo, had a granddaughter, Maria Dalbo, who married Andreas Sandal, a priest in colony of New Sweden. They moved back to the motherland where they had a son who got knighted by King Gustav III in 1772. You should join Christina and go to Riddarhuset. The family treasure chest in the coffer today belongs to you. That's so cool.
The letter that was just read stunned me because I did not know any of that.
Now, everyone, it's time to go out and change the world.
Yes,
Anders. I'm all about that. Let's check it out.
I am pumped about this.
This is so cool.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think this belongs to you.
All right, music time.
Elsa.
Hey,
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
One of you, Elsa? I'm Elsa. Hi, Elsa. Melissa, nice to meet you.
Hi. Hi, Elsa.
Dude.
Thanks for meeting with us. We hear that you're pretty active in the climate change movement.
I've been involved pretty much my whole life, like the first time I heard about it, but more when we...
In school,
Yes.
we have talked about it.
A lot. Many
yeah.
assignments and stuff is about climate change. And
I think Elsa and her two friends are very cool. The fact that they're only 16, 17, and they're thinking about all these things, I can probably tell you that most American kids their age are not worried about it.
do you want to go home with me and eat some lunch.
Oh, that would be
Maybe
great.
make some
Sure.
protest signs.
Some signs.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be awesome. I'm excited for that.
I'd really like to meet Elsa's parents. She says they're very supportive of her. Her friends said the same thing. I'm hoping we can talk with them because as a parent, you know, I'd like to support those kinds of things as well.
There's a lake over there. Oh, pretty.
Is this your summer studio?
Oh, come in. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. I'm Jen.
I'm Helene. I'm mother
Hi,
to
I'm
Elsa.
Pelle.
Hi.
Melissa.
Hi, I'm Pelle. We just start preparing some lunch. Do you want some?
Oh, thank you.
You're hungry?
Of course, we're always
Great.
open for food. Yeah.
It's gonna be a vegetarian lunch.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Do you eat all vegetarian in your home?
I do.
You do? Your parents?
Your whole family are eating vegetarian,
just
or
me.
just you? Most of the people in your age, they are in for vegetarian, but the parents' generation, we are in love with the meat.
Yeah.
But we try to learn. We try to listen to what you say and act as you want us to.
Yeah.
So, I don't think in our generation this was something we really worked at as far as being vegetarian environment.
Yeah, I'm proud of her that she's trying to work with this. Always a proud father, you too, I guess.
Yeah.
But this makes me extra proud that she's having this commitment to do something for the environment. She has taught me to eat more healthy vegetarian food. The last car we had was a regular gas car, and now we have a hybrid car. So it's the commitment she's pushing us all the time, and everybody else.
I feel like eating organic is better than eating like from a fabric produced.
Yeah.
It's much.
So
much
if you're
better.
gonna eat meat, go that way?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, so I love talking with her family about the impact of eating vegetarian and eating vegan on the environment. I am very proud that I'm a multifaceted actor. I do traditional acting like theater, I'm a singer, and I do film commercials. But along the way, I started doing improv, and before I knew it, I found myself studying clown in Italy. This is Zilly, one of my clown characters. She's a princess welder, as you can see. So I thrive on the variety in what I do.
I'm really excited that you have the opportunity to go to Sweden. I think your dad and your grandma would really be excited.
My Swedish heritage is on my mom's side, my grandma. This is one of my favorite pictures of Grandma.
Yeah.
My grandma had a very hard upbringing, and I don't know a whole lot about it because, understandably, she didn't talk a lot about it. I do know her parents passed away when she was 6, and her only brother was just 4, and they were sent to live with different family members. She always held this pain with her, and because I was so close to my grandma, I feel like I have a little of that for her.
It's really happening. You're going to Sweden. I'm so proud of you.
So when my grandma passed, that link to the past was broken. And as an actor, I tell stories for a living.
Bye-bye.
And it's beyond sad to me that I don't know that much about my own story. I've been looking forward to my special day, and it's actually here. I'm open to whatever I learn today. I have felt for a long time that coming to Sweden and learning about my roots was going to change my life or open a door, and I don't know what that is yet, but I'm ready for it. Dear Jennifer, welcome to Västra Amtervik Parish in Värmland, where your family of hard-working farmers has worked the soil since time immemorial. Today, it's hard to imagine why so many once left this beautiful area. However, back then, survival came well before beauty. The Broughton Farm is a place passed down to both sons and daughters in your family since the end of the 1600s. Like Britta Nilsdottir, born and raised here, and later married to Nils Johnson. In my wildest dreams, I wouldn't have thought there'd still be a building standing here. Their first child arrived on October 21st, 1802, a daughter named Maria. Some say children weren't as loved back then, but no. Being a parent was connected with great anxiety, knowing how easy their children could die. And any child surviving childhood was truly joyful. Unfortunately, shortly after the birth of their second child, Jonas, in 1805, Maria dies of a severe stomach flu. 5 years later, a treacherous dysentery called rödsoten threatened to wipe out the village. The disease was highly infectious and spread quickly, especially at gatherings like funerals, where as many as 30 corpses could wait in line to be buried during the service. About 50 people died the first year, mostly children. Nils and Britta paid a twofold toll, losing both Jonas and Maria, a girl who'd been their second try, and having a daughter. Rödsoten was just one of many threats. In the ensuing years, the couple lost another 4 kids, bringing the total to 7 deaths among their 11 children. But they never lost faith in their dream of having a daughter named Maria. Their 4th attempt was successful. Another Maria was born on September 17th, 1825, here at Broughton. This is where they experienced all their struggles, where they had lost their children and kept trying again and again and again, and again a 4th time to have their daughter Marie. It's so overwhelming to actually be standing here, touching it. I just kind of feel everything that they went through. And this Maria lived to see another challenge, adulthood. Her older sister inherits the farm. In 1845, Maria and her husband Nils Olsson move into a cottage there and become tenant farmers. Her childhood surrounded by death, Maria is determined to see her 8 kids through. 7 survive to adulthood, including a girl named Christina Nilsdottir. Your great-great-grandmother. She was born on Maria's 43rd birthday and thrown into a new kind of darkness. Keeping illness and hunger at bay came with a price. Nils and Maria borrow money from many different people. In the end, unmanageable payments all led into the sort of darkness that seems inescapable. In January of 1869, they are forced to auction everything away. Their little cabin sold for a mere 600 kroner. And still, they had 24 different debts to pay. Wow, this is a list of everything that Nils and Maria sold. They had to sell everything they had. To me, that just means that they tried their absolute hardest. A family now in survival mode. They relocate to a tiny cottage out in the woods to live an extremely impoverished life. One by one, each child leaves for nearby Norway in search for a better life. In 1885, when 17, Christina also leaves and becomes a servant girl at many different farms before ending up here at Folksgården Farm in Västra Amtervik in 1889.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to old Sweden.
Thank you.
I'm Lars.
Lars, I'm Jen.
And we are not related, but your ancestress, Christina, she served as a maiden in my family. And one of the locations where she worked is here, this little house from that time.
Great. Yes. If surviving childhood was one thing, surviving as a woman was another. Hard-working conditions with bad pay and long days. This is a major reason that so many women now abandon Sweden for America. It's unbelievable to touch things that she might have touched or walk where she definitely walked. Eventually, Christina added her name to the list of immigrants. A child of this string of survivors, always finding that next step when moving forward. In 1891, she travels through Christiania, Norway, and ends up in with relatives in Norway, Michigan. She makes herself a new start, studying to become a nurse, finding work at a hospital. That I knew. And she marries the miner, Anders Emanuel Eriksson, and has a son named George. In 1920, George marries Hannah Lind. Their daughter, Laverne, marries Charles McDonald. And in 1941, they have Patricia, your mama. Yeah. I can't wait to tell my mom and my sister about everything I saw today. I didn't think it would be possible for me to be even more motivated to get to the end and have the opportunity to meet my living Swedish relatives, but I wanted so much to be so special. So I'm gonna do my best.
Into the wild we go.
And here we have climate, so you can weigh your...
like your waist and stuff?
Yes, how much
really cool.
effect you have on the climate. The carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
So here you see if you buy second-hand clothes or if you buy new ones.
Preserving natural resources and the natural beauty around us is very important. As a costume designer, something I'm really interested in is trying to reuse clothing and recycle clothing because so much fabric and textiles goes into landfills.
Som sagt, tillfälle nu. Passa på, vi börjar nu. Fridays for Future har information om miljö, klimat.
Yeah, we heard about you guys.
Okay,
yes.
So, and you don't speak Swedish?
No.
Okay, so
We're
this
American.
is the first course for learning climate Swedish.
Try to understand. I'll try.
Yes. So there, go ahead and I can whisper some translation into your ears.
Okay.
So, varsågoda.
Jag heter Linda. Jag heter Morgan. Vi kommer från Fridays for Future, som är strejkrörelsen som startades av Greta Thunberg i augusti, men som nu har växt till en global rörelse över hela världen.
I love these kind of events because it brings the community together and you're learning so much about different organizations and what they can do for the community. So it's really inspiring and it's just so full of learning and knowledge.
My mom sent me an article about Greta. So I had one day off, so I decided to come and strike with her. And when I got there, I realized that this is something I really want to change. So I started coming again and again, and now it's part of my life.
How often do you strike from school?
Every Friday.
Okay.
So we would really love it if you will stop by on Friday to strike with us.
Absolutely, I am there. I would love to.
It's inspiring to see these girls supporting what they believe in. You know, they could be out enjoying life and celebrating, but they have an interest in a better world. That is always a worthy goal.
So can you tell us about the protest that's happening tomorrow? How many people will be there, do you think?
Because it's summer break, I don't think that many, but I hope some will get there. Maybe people get there because it's summer break and they can.
Right?
And like go there. Yeah, we can do it because it's no school.
What changes have you noticed since this movement started?
I've seen it a lot on social media, and a lot of my friends outside or school has started to share stuff about it, and yeah.
It's awesome that you girls are so young. You don't, I mean, you guys are very powerful when you're talking to adults and whatnot.
No one can make everything, but everybody can do something, and that's something I really think about all the time.
Yeah. I am inspired by Elsa and her friends. They seem really mature. They seem like they're passionate about their cause.
This is my sign I have used.
Okay. So I have a 15-year-old son who's going to be 16 in 6 months, and I would absolutely support my child not going to school if he were to get engaged in something that could help more people. I think it's deeper learning experience than any school book or classroom experience could ever give you. I think mine, I want to write these Americans, you know, us, support Fridays for Future. Is that okay for mine?
Oh, I love
for
that.
This one?
That's great.
That's very good.
What can you do to reduce plastics?
Yeah.
What's up?
You wrote nature.
That's, oh my goodness. God.
That cowboy can't count. That cowboy
I got problems, man. I'm over here high on this stuff. I'm looking right now. Nature. Should I just leave it like that?
Wow, these are hard to write.
Maybe it'll get attention. They'll be like, what is that?
Oh my goodness.
Think I can throw an R in here? Let me see if I can throw an R in here. Had a lot of fun making the signs with those girls. They were way better at it than I was. You could tell they're professionals. Look at her Earth. Look at her.
Wow, that's good. That's
You smoked my Earth.
The Faroe Islands are even accurate on that globe.
Can you tell me which continents those are?
Yeah.
That's Asia. That is North and South America.
Africa's supposed to be right there.
We're far away, okay?
Ta-da.
I love it.
Is this good?
Yeah,
Will
it is.
people get this?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I have to say my sign is not as beautiful as the teenagers made, but I hope it gets the job done.
It's a rather grey day today.
Oh, yeah.
So, all kinds of comparisons are made between countries and ranking lists are being published. When it comes to democracy, openness, transparency, equality, gender equality, Sweden's always on top. That's our field. That's our expertise. We are also considered innovation leaders, a great country to do business with, as you can see. And this is my favorite. World Economic Forum wrote this. Why Sweden beats everyone. That's good. Yeah, we're happy. But at the same time, we're getting a lot of these also. And this. So it's very confusing. If this is true, how can this be true? And if one is false, why would anyone care to spread false information about a country basically no one knows anything about? And that's constantly get mixed up with Switzerland anyway.
Yeah.
But for some groups, it's very important to discredit Sweden. And It all started with this book in the 30s, Sweden, the Middle Way, describing Sweden's welfare society as a happy utopia. Roosevelt said in a speech that in Sweden they have a royal family, a socialist government, and a capitalistic society working side by side. Of course, he mixed up socialist with social democratic government, but that happens all the time. And here was the start of our problems, because the Democrats kept referring to Sweden and the welfare society as a good, interesting example, so the Republicans had to come up with an argument against it. And in the election campaign in 1956, Eisenhower suddenly, in a speech, said that this welfare country made people lose goals in life, and therefore this country now had the most suicides in the world. That's terrible, that's bad, but luckily enough, also not true. But it worked. Everyone believed it. And in fact, still today, Swedes think that this is true. The Swedish or Scandinavian model kept being an issue, and in the late 50s, early 60s, the myth about Swedish sin was made up and used as a proof of Sweden's decay, that we should be promiscuous. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not really the case.
I had not personally heard about the high suicide rates in Sweden, but I had heard about the sexual promiscuity myth.
The story behind is that the emerging modern Sweden was very conscious about health matters. And also a growing awareness of women's situation, the equality matters, reflected in the decision to, in 1955, introduce sexual education in schools to prevent unwanted pregnancies and future sexual transmitted diseases. But at that time, an American reporter was writing for Time magazine, translating it as the Swedish government encouraging kids to have sex. Not really the same. So Sweden's choice of a welfare society has obviously been provocative for those who does not share these ideas. And it was not a favor describing it as a utopia. We could have done good without that, because Sweden's not a utopia. It's never been a utopia. Sweden has always had problems, just like any other country. We have problems now. We have big problems with crime. So that might make you think that the urge to discredit Sweden would be over with, but instead, fabricated news about Sweden is reaching new and more frightening levels. A few weeks ago, the Italian state TV, RAI, broadcasted a story about Sweden now having 50, 60 no-go zones, war-like places where the police do not dare to go and where Muslim Sharia laws prevail. And the story behind it is that the Swedish police have pointed out 50, 60 areas that, yes, are troublesome. So they want to put extra resources there. Who were at the Järvafältet at the fair? You were. Was it okay?
Oh, yeah.
Was it scary? No.
It was cool. I wanted to walk around in more booths and talk to more people. But I liked it. I loved it.
One thing I think about when I think about the news is it's a money game. Nobody's going to buy news or watch the news if they're reporting, you know, happy things and good things. It's in us to want drama, and it's really sad. And that's kind of what I think it's about.
Anyone was warned about going to Sweden? Because
yeah, my mother was, she reads these things and she thinks, oh my gosh, that's real. It's the most dangerous country you could go to in the whole world right now. Do you know what's going on there? Are you kidding? Yeah, she believes it.
I always treat the news with a little,
grain of salt.
A whole bottle of salt.
Okay, so with that said, I hope you feel safe to walk out in this dangerous neighborhood.
No, my views of Sweden still remain, I think, very positive. I still love this country. I think it's wonderful. I think the people are wonderful. And everywhere that I've been so far has been an excellent place to be.
My letter on my special day mentioned the Riddarhuset, so of course, when I read that in my letter, I really wanted to go to the Riddarhuset.
Hello. Welcome to the House of Nobility.
Thank you.
And you are?
I'm Christina.
Hello, Christina.
Nice to meet you.
I'm the chief genealogist of the House of Nobility.
Oh, wow.
Here in Stockholm, so I'm responsible for the pedigrees of the Swedish nobility.
I don't know exactly what it means to be a knight in Sweden. Of course, all, my other friends who are with me on this adventure are like, oh, Christina, like you're royalty, you're gonna be a princess. And I don't know that that's the case, but we've been having a lot of fun just like chatting about it. And yeah, I've been having fun just thinking about like what it must be to be a knight all those years ago in Sweden.
There are 2,331 different coats of arms hanging on the walls here.
I don't know why I haven't
So
found
I
mine
guess
yet.
I have to assist you now. So
Okay.
if you walk over there,
Okay.
I know exactly where it is.
Cool.
Noble family, 150. The white horse in the blue field with a saber and a pistol on top of it, and the name Sabelsköld.
Ah, cool.
These are the oldest families hanging right here.
It was so exciting to see stuff about my family in that place and to see my family's coat of arms and everything.
It's hard to tell, but it says Gustavus Adolphus. So this is signed by the king,
Wow.
great warrior king of Sweden himself, granting this noble rank to Carl Jönsson. And you see his children,
Yeah.
and you see it's all women. And that's why the family goes extinct.
And so once it gets to only the girls, you just stop tracking it.
The girls, the daughters still belong to
Right.
the noble family.
But their children
Their
don't.
issue don't belong to the nobility
Mhm.
unless the daughters married another nobleman.
I felt very honored to go to the House of Nobles and discover that there is a connection.
It was sandals you're looking for, isn't it?
That's right, sandals.
You're almost looking
Alphabetical.
torch and a silver star in a blue field.
Huh.
And that's sandals from 1772.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's it. I did not trace the daughters of Peter Gunnarsson Rambo. I did not know any went back to Sweden and knew nothing about anything back here after he left. So I am totally blown away. Actually, I'm stunned. I don't know how to react. I'm just totally stunned. What is that?
That's the monogram of King Gustavus III. You see a G. So this is the original diploma of noble rank. I hereby grant him noble rank, and I signed it in a royal castle in the city of Stockholm, year after our Lord.
1772, right before the American Revolution. Wow. Incredible. I've learned a lot about my family history, but everything so far has just been imagining. It's just been through books. To be here and walk the places and see the buildings, it's like I can feel his presence.
His father, Anders Sandel, was married to Maria Dahlbo.
From Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania.
Huh.
She is the daughter of, you see there?
Katharina Rambo.
Rambo.
That's my name. Well, not Katharina, but Rambo.
No.
Awesome.
So
that's
here
nice.
you have the name Rambo.
I'm doing this for my ancestors. I'm doing this to honor them. And this is my attempt to do that.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays Hail to the Chief, ooh, they point the cannon at you.
I would describe myself as something of a loner. Spent most of my life traveling and living by myself, never been married. I was only 18 when I went to military college, Virginia Military Institute, to enter the Army as an officer. Then I served pretty much the rest of my adult life in one way or another in uniform, and would still be serving except that I encountered some breathing disabilities due to the war in Iraq. I always volunteered for everything, so I really never expected to live past the age of 30. I accepted that, and when I did live past 30, I was shocked because I hadn't prepared for old age. I expected to go out with my boots on and not have to worry about getting old. There's a lot of survivor's guilt with a lot of us who have came back. I did make it back, and that's hard sometimes to know that guys with kids and families did not make it back. And guys like me who had none of that did.
So I feel kind of guilty about that sometimes. I went to military college for a bachelor's degree in history to be a better officer. And I always loved history. History to me was always an adventure story. This is my section of the library dealing with a colonial period of the US, and this is the section dealing with the Swedish colony right in this area right here. Our family name Rambo comes from our ancestral home, Ramberget, on Hisingen Island in Gothenburg. When the movie Rambo was made, the author was trying to think of a name that sounded tough and macho. His wife carried in a basket of apples, Rambo apples. And he thought, oh, that's it, that's the name. Well, it just so happens that Rambo apple is the strain of apples that my family brought. So actually, it is our family name that inspired the name in that movie. I never knew my dad growing up, knew nothing about the Rambo family, didn't even know what nationality the name was until I was grown, and missing out on that entire half of myself is tragic. Going to Sweden, even for a brief period of time, I hope will give me a sense of being rooted, an amazing blessing that I never thought I would get to have.
Answer, my friend, it's a blow.
I'm thrilled with the idea that I'm going to learn new things about my ancestor. In books, you only see what the author decides is important. Coming here on my own, as a historian, I can figure out what I see is important. I'm looking forward to my own research by standing right here in the presence of the history I've been reading about. The information I get today is going to be the culmination of a lifetime of waiting. Peter Gunnarsson Ramberg was born on Hisingen Island in June 1612, before the city of Gothenburg was even founded. Sweden and Denmark were at war, battling over the region, which represented Sweden's only outlet west to oceans beyond Denmark's control. Hisingen was Danish territory as Peter was born, and his formative years were a virulent swirl of burnings and any manner of military violence. Whoa, now this is new to me. I've not seen this. So Ramberget should be, and I just found it. This was Peter's environment as a farmhand on Hisingen. He knew opportunity was scant. If everything went right, maybe he'd own a small plot of land, maybe even a farm of his own. But he also lived near the port, a key commercial trading center, and he would have been exposed to the vibrant, cosmopolitan marketplace. Nationally, Sweden was a burgeoning European power, constantly at war, mostly postured eastward. But all of Old World Europe was already imagining a new World West. Young Swedes were scared of being sent to war in Germany, a virtual death sentence. A threat that may have pushed young Peter as much as the allure of the New World was pulling him. Two similar Swedish vessels were christened in 1627. One was named after King Gustav Vasa, a man-of-war ship that was armed for battle. The other, a smaller commercial ship called Kalmar Nickel. It was built like a smaller version of Vasa, just 20 meters shorter, and equipped with roughly the same size rig and number of sails. The Vasa's fated end is well known. Less celebrated is Kalmar Nickel's successful life. She made 4 Atlantic crossings, remarkable for a day. Amazing to think of them crossing on such a small vessel, with so much danger and hardship, crossing the entire Atlantic. When this big ship, much more powerful, couldn't even make it out of port.
That first crossing was a military charter carrying only soldiers. The second crossing in 1640 carried civilians, including women and Peter. At 27, he was one of the few brave colonists crossing to New Sweden in present-day Delaware. The journey was expensive. It cost Peter 4 years of labor on an American plantation to pay it off. I guess if he had given up before 4 years were over, he'd have had to return to Sweden. So he had to work long and hard and endure the frontier, the winters, whatever hardships, maybe famine in some colonies like Jamestown. He faced all of that, risked all of that, and death to make it a go. So he wanted it. This was the deal. New colonists were typically paid in land once they'd paid their debt. In 1644, he became a freeman and began growing tobacco. Later, he cultivated a prosperous farm, which included apple trees grown from samples he had brought from Sweden. The Rambo apple is still grown in several of the northeastern states. He had already changed his name to Rambo, most likely taken from Ramberget back home, and married Britta Matsdaughter of Vasa, Finland, on April 7, 1647. I like to imagine what it was like for him to meet this unattached Finnish woman. He wrote later in his will about his love and affection and his happiness in the New World. So I like to imagine that, who knows, maybe there might be hope for an older Rambo too to find somebody. Maybe I have to go to Finland to find one. Rambo's reputation grew. He served as deputy to Swedish Governor Johan Rising and on the Governor's Council as justice under both Dutch and English rule. In 1693, his sister back home received a letter telling her about his 4 sons and 4 daughters, a letter still preserved for you to read. Hello, how are you? I'm Rob Rambo. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Very welcome to National Archives.
Thank you very much, sir. Holding the documents and seeing letters sent from my ancestor is incomparable. There's nothing like that. And this has been a dream of mine for many years.
Högt ärade, kära syster.
Yeah, I can't believe I can actually touch this now. What is incredibly beautiful about this letter to me is that this letter, which finally does reach his sister after several previous attempts, is summing up 50 years, the entire history of the entire colony.
And here,
the signatures.
That's original. That's
Peter Gunnarsson Rambo.
Hand.
That's his signature. Peter Rambo was buried on January 29, 1698. At 85, he was the longest living of the original colonists. The farm boy from unsteady wartime Gothenburg was laid to rest as the august father of New Sweden. Knowing that my story is going to be heard by Swedes and people everywhere, that's a life goal. Nothing is better for a historian. You can read about family, you can hear stories, but until you go to your grandparents' home, you're just a stranger. I feel like I finally got to go visit with my family. And that'll always be a special day, every single day.
Know where we're going?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be there.
All right.
Oh, it looks like right over here.
Yay. Anders wanted us to come to school today, but being that it's Friday and we're in Stockholm, we decided to go on strike.
Is this your first time at this march?
Yeah, well, in Stockholm, yes. Yeah. But I was one of the initiative takers in Norway.
Yeah, what does your sign say?
It's the elephant in the room. Because Norway is
that's
big
awesome.
on
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you come here every week?
Almost, yes. Since August.
And since August of last year?
Yeah.
Wow. I was definitely surprised by seeing all the groups that come together to support this fight, because it's not every day that you see grandparents for the future, scientists for the future, and I saw preachers for the future, which, you know, religion and science aren't really things that go hand in hand, so it's really nice to see that support for everybody.
Doesn't look too big.
Elsa and
Clara?
We have to find her. She's over there. Come on.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me, guys.
Elsa?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Where do you see Elsa?
I believe this is her. Elsa? Was that her name? Elsa? It's not Elsa, is it?
No,
I called her Elsa. Oops.
Oh, hey! Hey, nice to see you again. How are you guys doing today?
Do you see who's here?
Yes.
I saw her. I was like,
I know. Nice to see you. I am impressed by these young people that they, you know, on a Friday, they take time to sit here in front of Parliament, which is not what a lot of teenagers want to do.
Okay, there's 160 places striking in Sweden on an irregular basis. 4,000 is the total number of cities ever, but today we have 750 or 760 places striking. So you're talking in terms of 5,000 people worldwide, maybe 10,000.
It's been really special for me to be here today because I'd seen a few of Greta's videos before I came to Sweden, and seeing her in person and speaking with the students, interacting with them has just been incredible to see that spark of change actually happening.
I think this is really great that everyone comes together. We're Americans, we're here, we're visiting, and we're learning all about how Sweden is doing their part. I just wanted to say how grateful we are that you guys are out here doing this. And we can all do little things in our lives that can help the future of the planet. Thanks, guys.
Super proud of you, Mats. That was really well said. And we're all so proud of you. We really are. Thanks for letting us tag along.
Vet inte det med tinnar, men torn ska fortfarande en stad ha om den ska verka prålig. Vackraste torn i Stockholm är fortfarande kyrktornen, som tyska kyrkan där. Högst torn är Kaknästornet, 155 meter. Och allra mest Stockholms, ja, det är Stadshustornet såklart. 106 meter, 1 meter högre än Stadshustornet i Köpenhamn, för arkitekten Ragnar Östberg ville retas lite. Nyast är norra tornen där bakom. Kortvarigast lär tornen som deltagarna ska bygga nu bli. Och det är den som välter det sista bygget som får åka hem.
I have a 1 out of 6 chance of continuing on. And I feel really good about that, but it's still kind of heart-wrenching because that means one person's still going home today. You don't want anybody to go home. You want everyone to continue on together.
Every day here has truly been a gift, but I'm not done yet. I would be devastated to leave today.
Hello. Glad to see you. Melissa, Chris gave you his place and also his immunity.
Chris, I screwed up. Stop.
Hey,
Stop.
hey, it's already done. I've already made the decision.
Today, you are building towers right here in the city, as high as you can. But be careful, the one who makes the last tower fall is the one that has to leave. Good luck.
Thanks.
I den här tävlingen gäller att i tur och ordning, puck efter puck, bygga ett så högt torn som möjligt. När puckläggaren är nöjd med sin pucks position och ger en tydlig signal så måste tornet klara av att stå i 5 sekunder. Efter det går ansvaret för tornet över till nästa tävlande. Och den som har ansvaret för tornet när det rasar är den som förlorar. Amerikanerna tävlar först i 2 heat och förlorarna möts sedan i en duell där det avgörs vem som måste lämna allt för Sverige. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm not really thinking about strategy right now. I think I'm just gonna try to remain calm and be as steady as I can and take it one hockey puck at a time.
I'm very nervous. A few weeks ago, I was really close to going home, and, you know, honestly, I feel like I'm really close now, because this is really the first challenge where we've had the most people in a competition. Sorry, it's all right. It's okay. Sorry.
There is a strategy, but the strategy is to fuck over the next guy by putting your puck at a weird spot on the top so that it'll fall over when they try to put one on. That's the strategy. Fun.
It all depends on the clock, I guess.
Yeah, that's my tower.
We weren't trying to sabotage. We were trying to get it straight. But you ain't out yet.
I didn't even get another try. Next heat, it's gonna suck just as much or more than the first one. You don't get any better at it. It's just another chance. It's just another coin flip. It's another 50-50. Anything in it.
Ready?
If I win and I send him home, I'll probably buy him a ticket later and bring him back. So we're gonna stack pucks. It's good, man.
No, it's not. It's fucking not.
You're good, you're good, you're good. You know, it's a bad situation. I don't wanna beat Mott's. I don't wanna go home. It's just, whatever happens, happens. Good job.
It's the same thing.
sorry.
It happened again.
Sorry, man. All right?
It happened again.
I'll bring you back, all right?
It's the same.
Hey.
It's the same situation.
Hey, chill out. It's all right. It's just stacking pucks, all right?
I didn't even get a chance. That was it. That's it, man. That's it. So right now, I'm feeling a little shafted. A little bit.
I know.
I'm ready to go. 2 times in a row. Right after 5 seconds goes up, that thing goes down. But facts are facts, and right now, I got a plane to catch, you know?
Right. Bad luck. It fell on Mott's.
Same situation.
Are you kidding me?
Nothing you can do about it.
Sorry.
It's so ridiculous.
I don't even want to hug right now.
I'm definitely gonna miss him, but I know this is just another day. The sun's gonna come up again tomorrow, and I'm gonna see him again real soon, before you know it. We would have never met if it wasn't for this. All right?
And I was saying, you're the first one I saw, and the last one I'll see.
Thanks, buddy.
I hate this.
Okay. Come on.
Bye, Moss.
See you again.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever experienced.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it. So, how was this trip, though?
The trip was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way that I would have experienced something like this on my own. Are you serious? This experience has been, you know, hot and cold, heaven and hell. At one point, you feel like you're on top of the world. You're looking out at all of this beautiful wildlife, and the sun is just setting in the sky, and it's wonderful and beautiful, and you feel powerful. And then the next time, you're doing one of these challenges, or somebody's going home, or something like that, and you're just defeated.
This is something from us. It's your family tree, actually. Wow. And here is everything we found out about your Swedish past, your Swedish family. So you can open it on your way back.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I trust you come back.
Oh, I will.
It was great having you.
I might move back.
Oh, you might.
I might.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
See you when you come back.
Thank you, Anders.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll see you. While I am sad to leave right now and not get to experience the rest of this journey with my friends, I'm also hopeful to go back to the U.S. and, you know, continue on the journey that I've set out for myself. I'm 22 years old. I've got my whole life ahead of me. I know I definitely want to and will come back to Sweden because there's still a lot more for me to learn and to see.
You will work as bakers. Bread bakery start at like 3 in the morning, so you might have to get up pretty early.
I feel like I'm the slowest baker in the world.
So we put the sugar in your mouth?
Literally, he went outside and tried to rope in people to bring him in.
Vika!
Just want to tell my grandpa we're home. We made it home.
Hey,